Let's get started.
Here we go. Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this. Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live, yo.
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
For the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You're now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. I'm Matt Floyd. That's Kamar. That's Simon. What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate each episode as well as the week on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernon's. Oh, that wheeze is bad. We're going to talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. Kamar, new patrons? No.
Hey guys, welcome to the party. Thanks for tuning in. Join the Patreon for the post Joe, the show after the show. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, tickle the algorithm. Big shout out this week to Colin Holmes.
Colin, my man.
What up, Colin?
Just keep growing, one Patreon at a time. Thank you to all patrons, past and present.
You did that differently.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing?
I don't know.
Who did?
After 300 episodes, you got to just fucking...
He did.
Well, yeah, usually he cues to you. You say hello, I say hello.
What's weird is how slow you are in the uptick. Like when someone...
No, I knew something was
Okay.
wrong.
I just roll with it though, right?
Yeah.
No, it's
Kamar's
fine.
a yes and guy.
I think I like it
You're a
better.
stop
I
the show
always
guy.
like stress so much about
What are you gonna say?
what am I going to say. This is like wearing a uniform to school. It takes all
I
the
get it.
pressure
It's because I
out of
took
it.
something away from you is why you realize. Yes. Now I'm understanding.
Oh, it's listen, don't, Matt, you've been so good lately.
I'm so
Don't
sorry.
go
I'm
back
so
to
sorry,
the
Simon.
whole fucking
I'm
Jew-hating
so sorry.
persona you play on this
I hadn't even thought
podcast.
about it. Kamar, do you want to go over the guest list?
I'd love to, brother Matt. It was a very light week. Start off with the MMA with Quinton Rampage Jackson, but we don't do those. Followed by 2174, Annie Jacobsen's back in the chair.
And her luscious voice.
Pulitzer Prize finalist. And then we had 2175, Simon called it, Sam Tallent.
Wow. Simon called it for weeks.
Detroit's own.
So what do you rate this bad boy? I'll give it a 3.5, actually. Fuck it. I don't know why. It was nice light work, like you said.
Do you think that Joe is like flexing with these 2 episode weeks? Because I'm sure he had some deal with Spotify where he had to release 3 episodes.
He did release 3 episodes this week.
I don't like when you do that.
Well, I'm like, they don't do what we do.
That one's a throwaway.
No, Spotify doesn't do that. They don't go, sorry, Joe, those MMA ones, those are throwaways.
Well,
I also think you need to give him a break. It was just the 4th of July. So he probably banked a bunch sort of deal.
fair enough.
I'll give this a 2, generously.
Yeah, it's really too bad because it had the potential to be something great, and Joe managed to ruin that for us as well.
One thing
didn't mind it.
I
I didn't
keep
mind
needing
it.
to point out is his YouTube channel, they just reposted all the videos.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I did.
But they'd be like video from a long time ago with
Yeah, it'll be like Elon Musk
60,000
posted
views or
16
something.
days ago.
Oh, is that
And
why
reposted.
they're all coming up
Yeah.
all of a sudden?
Yeah, and you're confused because this week I was like, whoa, I missed one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, the number doesn't match up.
Yeah. And they're always good too. It's like Jeremy Corbell and whatever. And then I look at the number, it's like 1745. And like that's from 12 years ago, man.
It's funny because it's feeding you the ones
That I like,
Yeah,
yeah.
because for me it was like Dave Chappelle. And I was
Oh,
like,
no,
what
no,
the
no.
fuck?
I never saw Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's feeding you the ones it knows you want.
But do you think they took them all down or edited them or something, or just it's just a massive repost?
No, he probably wasn't allowed to have them on YouTube.
Yeah, they're probably just reposting them from the YouTube era.
But I wonder if like if you repost every once in a while, it like throws you up in the algo game or something. You know?
Here's the weird thing though, Kamar. You wouldn't like Jamie wouldn't have deleted them.
Well, I don't know what it is. I just noticed it and kept meaning to bring it up.
Yeah, no, but my point is like if let's say tomorrow I decided I wanted to take all of our videos off of YouTube, I wouldn't remove them from YouTube. I would just make them invisible, keeping the number. Do you understand what I mean?
No, I am ashamed to say I do not know.
Okay, so there's an option in YouTube where you can just say these videos are no longer available to the public, but they still remain on the YouTube server. They keep all their numbers, they keep all the comments, and then if you want to one day be like, hey, they're back up. You just click the button and they're back up. And I believe the numbers and the comments are all still there.
There's
So
no reason to go through each one and delete it.
well, you would just mass delete all of them, but I still couldn't see why they would even do that. Because on the off chance that you're ever going to re-upload them, you don't want to have to go through and that's a lot of work, dude.
And that somehow, some way, that's sitting on YouTube server.
Yes.
That data, that
Yes.
our little sect. It's crazy, man.
I watched a breakdown. Sorry, separate topic. I watched a breakdown of some guy made like a video about Weinstein and
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard,
Yeah.
and it was like showing you how rude Weinstein was actually being to Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
When you like remove the middle parts where he butters him up, you know what did
Yeah,
we
the
call
compliment
that?
sandwich.
Compliment
Yeah.
sandwich. So they removed the bread
Yeah,
of
and
the
it's
compliment
just,
sandwich, and
you're
it's-
so goddamn wrong here, Terrence.
It's-
You're so aggressively wrong here, Terrence.
It's pretty much exactly Degrassi Tyson's response, but he didn't have any bread in the sandwich.
Yeah.
His was like a lettuce wrap, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw him on Pierce Morgan, and he seemed to be like he was compassionate towards Terrence and wanted to find something there. And
He wants a cool black friend so bad. He doesn't care how wrong he is.
No,
he doesn't give a shit.
he wasn't.
He's like, join my band.
He was supportive of the idea of people challenging science.
Yeah, okay,
and theories
sure.
and stuff. Albeit he had nothing going.
As soon as Degrassi Tyson
yeah, as soon as he was out.
knocked him down,
yeah,
he
he's
was
like, wow.
I got to find a new.
Who pisses off Neil deGrasse Tyson the most?
Are there any other black physicists?
Okay, listen, before we get into, I assume we're starting with Annie Jacobsen. Before we get into that, we got to start with Trump.
Do we?
Yeah. Don't do this post-show thing. I think that's it's not fair to the real
It
listeners.
ruins this whole post, Joe. Now he has nothing.
Well, that's fine. Let that be the case. But there's no way we're not going to.
All I could say is it's way too soon to say he staged it to get that photo like you guys were talking about. Or
Whoa. I said I heard that. I think that's a joke. There's no fucking.
no, it's been said. Many theories. It seems like he should just be president now.
If you were going to fake some sort of shooting like that, getting shot in the ear like he was almost seems like the best way to do it. I was saying to Matt, you have a little razor blade in your hand. It's the oldest wrestling trick in the book, which, by the way, Trump has done already.
Okay,
He's been
sure.
in the
Yeah, fine. I'll give you
WWE,
that.
So he probably has all the training to pull something like that off. Like you said, he has 2 female Secret Service agents. So we already know that whole thing is a sham, right? Like,
I just, Simon, what you're saying is that like an 80-year-old man had the timing because he's done wrestling before. He had the timing to time cutting his ear with a shot, like perfectly, pretty much.
I think they probably had it
Or
totally.
you think he just goes
no,
down,
he
someone
does.
cuts his
He
ear?
goes.
Okay.
He does.
Kamar's even playing into it now.
He reaches to fix his
Yeah,
hair.
yeah, okay,
That's
fair
the
enough,
sign for
fair
the
enough.
fake gunman
Sure,
to
fair enough.
let the
But-
blank go.
Then they kill somebody,
Yes, that. Yeah.
and I think another guy died as well.
See, that's
Well, the
like,
shot that missed killed the guy, I think, was the.
this is like the magic bullet now. Like I have no, I don't know how I don't know why the senator got shot in through the leg. You know what I'm saying? JFK.
yeah.
I don't know.
Other headlines are it's a security flub.
Well, again, the women. I don't want to be that guy, but
Yeah. Women's Secret Service.
But it's going to
definitely
be
the B team.
hilarious because he's doing their convention like tomorrow or today.
Listen, Simon, let's play this game where he did really get shot
okay.
in the ear.
Yeah.
Because that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about him, and I don't love the guy. I've said that many times. He stands the fuck up
Oh, it was
and
incredible.
puts his fucking fist in the air
Again,
and walks off.
He
Like,
was in the WWE. Doesn't it all
Listen,
seem
he
so
should be
fucking
president.
rehearsed?
all I'm saying is, if it is real, it might be one of the hardest fucking things I've witnessed in my lifetime. So I got to give him that. I'm not going to sit here and.
That's pretty good.
Very big of you.
It's not big of me. Kamar, I
have
tell
you-
it like I see it.
Have you seen the footage? I'm sorry, Kamara, of Reagan where he's
Yeah,
giving
where the
his
balloon
speech
pops,
after
missed
it
me.
missed me.
Yeah. That feels like that was set up,
Maybe. I don't
right?
know.
Pop a balloon
Like,
after I say.
he's also an actor. So
I know.
who
After I
knows?
say Venezuela, you pop a balloon, and I say missed me.
Sorry, go ahead.
What
Kamara.
if, though, that was a real bullet and it did catch him in the head and he died?
No, we're fucked. There's
mean, that
civil
would've-
war.
It
today.
really feels like it's like that was the best thing that could happen.
Well,
Them missing you, mean?
Matt was saying outside like this reeks of like some sort of CIA, Mossad, whatever, and I was saying it's too sloppy. Like the Mossad would have killed him for sure.
I just say it reeks of them because 4 years ago, probably to the day, he was like, "These guys stink."
Yeah.
And I'm going to clean that swamp.
I
listen,
can see that
I know it
too.
sounds crazy because you'd be like, "There's no way that after he says that, the CIA are then going to go whack this guy at a fucking
Sure.
convention or a."
That's why I said FBI, Matt, because they're
Because of the incompetence.
Well, they're renowned for like getting somebody to do something,
Yeah, a
tricking
Forrest Gump
a
type.
dummy
Yeah.
into trying to do a bomb that doesn't even exist. This is exactly what that reeks of. Is like this 20-year-old kid just thinks he's doing something because 12 FBI agents have been, pretending to be in a incel with him for the past 12 months or whatever the fuck it is.
But if he had died, like the divide would be galvanized forever. If you're a never Trumper,
It's just
and you're MAGA, like never.
What are the fucking chances that he just gets the nick on the ear? Come on,
It's all too soon.
Come
It's
on.
all too soon.
Like exactly what Kamar is saying. What if it had gone the other way? Like if there was
listen.
actually a 50-50 chance that he die and not
Kamar?
It doesn't seem like that.
MAGA people have forever been saying that the woke left can't shoot guns and that they shouldn't be afraid. So, I mean,
Apparently this guy was
kind-
a Republican. Kamar, step in here.
but 20 years old. It's a young Republican. Maybe he hasn't shot,
Well, a lot of those guys have been shooting guns since
true.
they were
That's true.
youngsters,
That's true.
Maddie.
No, it's
not all of them are good shots.
No,
It was sort of surreal to go. Like I told Simon, I found out right before I went to Blues Fest. I was like, does anyone know? Does
What kind of gun was it?
an AR-15 apparently
It was a assault
a real
rifle.
gun? A real gun, man.
Like with a scope on it? Because come on.
I like that you act as though you could headshot someone with an AR from any
you don't
distance.
want to get me Well, first of all, we don't know how far away he is. How far away was he? Are we talking like JFK grassy knoll shot? or
How
were
was he where he was?
How did he
was
get
on
a gun
rooftop.
in? Oh, he was on a rooftop.
Apparently.
Yeah, I read that someone had contacted police saying, "I see someone climbing a roof with a rifle." But again, these are all early. Like Kamar said, it's very early. You know, we know from January 6th that it's very early to be making any definitive comments. I will say definitively, if he did get shot in the fucking face, ear, head somewhere, and then just stood up and fisted up to the
let's
crowd,
go.
it's fucking insane. I don't care one way or the other. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how you feel about the guy.
He's
Fucking
won
hard
you
as
over.
shit.
He's won you over for a bit. Let's get out
No,
of business, though.
you're absolutely right, though. I'm sorry, Kamar. You're absolutely right. It is. If it's really, if he's really getting shot at and gets up like that,
It's fucking heinous. It's insane.
he, like Kamar says, he just deserves to be president.
Like that photo is Pulitzer Prize winning material
it's
across
incredible.
the board,
And if-
100 times
if
out of
you
100.
don't use that as like your voting
No, that guy
platform
won't.
photo, you know.
It'd be
don't-
awesome if it was they had the debates, the runoff, and then just a cage match. And you sort of got to hold the guy's head up and smash it down, and you're president.
We didn't talk about fucking. Oh, I guess.
Well, don't forget, Trump this week too was like, "I'll give you 20 strokes and we'll play for $1 million for charity." I thought that was fucking
He said
hilarious.
that to Biden.
Yeah,
Biden doesn't have time
There's
for that.
no way
Saving the
Biden can
world.
swing a golf club. I fucking.
oh, I've seen it. It's terrible.
There's no, but right now, like
No,
he
I've
has
seen him
declined
recently.
so much. You've seen him recently, like
Swing
in
a
the past
golf
2
club?
months, swing a golf club.
Well, let's say 6 just to be safe. But yeah, it looked pretty ugly.
I think he's like losing faculties by the day.
Apparently, he's sharp as a tack.
No, dude, when you saw that the debate,
Forget the debate. You didn't see him the other day at the
He had an
NATO
off
thing.
night. He had an off night.
The NATO thing. He was calling up Zelensky and he's like, "I just want to bring up to the podium
no, I haven't seen it.
the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin." And then he walks away, and there's a real awkward thing. And then and you just see him walk back into the screen. He's like, "Hold on there, Joe. I meant to say Zelensky." And then Zelensky's like, "Yes, I am better. I am better." It's ugly as shit, dude.
I saw a clip. I don't know if it's AI because how can you even tell anymore?
Yeah.
But if it's for real, it is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Where he goes up and he's got his sister and his wife next to him, and he said, "You know how his joke is always." hi, I'm Jill Biden's husband. You know, he says that like all the time. So he says, I'm Jill Biden's husband and my sister is right here. And then he looks and he's wait a second. You got switched up on me. This is my wife and this is my sister.
Joe Biden did this?
Yeah.
That could be real. That's the worst part. You can't even tell anymore.
It's so funny though, man. It's really funny.
All right. Well, we had to touch on Trump. A fucking former president running for office got shot in the face, and we would be remiss if we just glaze over it and don't mention it.
Even if he doesn't die, which he obviously isn't going to.
His ear gets infected.
Unless the
poison
bullet was poisoned and they meant to miss.
It's too soon.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No, but if it is just an earshot, is this enough to start some sort of civil unrest in the United States, you think?
If Donald Trump got shot in the face yesterday and killed.
No, not killed. Just now with the getting shot.
It's so soon. It's not
assassination.
even 24 hours. Like, call me in 4 days.
All right.
2174 Annie Jacobsen.
It's so funny. I had a tough time listening to this one because I was just picturing Kamar naked on some like leather lazy boy, just stroking his penis very slowly for 2.5 hours while listening.
Joe's new line is, I haven't read it, but I've heard it's really good. He's done it for like the last 3 books.
I did like how he made that loud and clear at the beginning. I have not, just to know, I'm too busy to read your book, Annie. I heard it's great.
He's the worst. No, I swear to God, like the rudeness to your guest to have someone come on who you claim to be interested in
I disagree.
and not bother reading their book. Like, you suck.
Why? This isn't CNN. You are going on Joe to push your shit. It's not on him to read it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, am I wrong? Like, the whole reason anyone goes on is to sell the book or to...
Yes. Usually, though, Joe finds something interesting and then has that person on. Not like, come on and prove to me that you're interesting. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I didn't like it. It started off on the wrong foot. It reminded me a lot of our friend, The Push. Like, it's just a dick move.
He didn't watch The Push before he had Darren Brown on.
And
but there's no like crazy convincing someone to kill someone in her book.
announcing
Well, you don't know. You haven't read it. She actually said, go shoot Trump.
right away that you haven't is just such like a power flex. It's just gross. Like, by the way, I'm way too busy to read your book. I'm too busy watching John Wick 100 times in a row. I can't fit that into my busy schedule.
Maybe that's why she commented on the audiobooks later on.
Yeah, maybe.
She was like, I do many audiobooks. Many sales are audiobooks.
And I read them all.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole episode was really a shame because I had tried to tell you about this months ago because I had heard her on.
She's already been on.
No, but for this new book about the nuclear thing, which you wouldn't even know it was about because Joe hijacked the conversation. I had told you about this. I had heard her on Lex, obviously, and then on another podcast I listened to. It's such an amazing, like those guys let people talk. So you actually get to know what the fuck the book was about.
Which is weird because last time she wouldn't do that.
Last time she wouldn't do that.
Do you remember that was the problem? Last time she was like, well, if you buy the book and read it, you'll understand more about it. So maybe Joe this time was like, if she's not even going to talk to me about the book, what's the point in reading it?
She does talk about this book, though. And it's so interesting and it's terrifying. And Joe didn't even get to any of the good stuff because he was so busy fucking making terrible jokes at inopportune times. He's just not very funny.
Hold on. In his defense, I think sometimes when it's like super heavy shit, he has a defense mechanism, which is comedy, which most of us do if you have any sort of funny bone. Anyway, I want to say this. I think it was interesting. I know I'm probably jumping way ahead. I thought it was interesting that she says to Joe, if you saw where all the nukes were around the world, it would terrify you. And then like an hour later, she's like, all the presidents have said they're going to remove this thing where if we get shot at, we have to shoot back no matter what. And she's like, and I don't know why they won't get rid of it. And I was like, you kind of said it an hour ago. Like, imagine you take office and they show you, they're like, these are all of our nukes. And they show you the subs and all the silos. And then they go, and these are all of our enemies' nukes. And they show them all along the shores of New York and fucking LA and Miami. You'd probably all of a sudden be like, oh no, we're just going to shoot back if they shoot. Like, we don't really have much of a choice at that point. I also look at it like this. If you have that policy, you're telling people, don't nuke us because it's the end of you. That's your only...
Yeah, mutual destruction.
This is what I'm saying. So what they're saying is not, we don't want to shoot this. We have this in place. It's like the not negotiating with terrorists, right? You just have that hard stance, and then that's your stance. And people know, well, there's no point in hijacking Americans because their government isn't going to trade for them unless it's Brittany Griner.
Okay, you're taking into account that the person who's shooting that bomb is like another country, an Iran, just decides they're going to shoot.
Well, that's usually who has weapons of mass destruction.
First of all, when you look at the amount of nukes there are on the planet, it's all America. The other countries have so few. And the ones they're actually worried about, the Irans, the whatever, they probably only have like, and I'm just taking a ballpark here, like 10 things that can shoot missiles. It's not like America that has
I get
them
it. They're everywhere.
strategically, but because they don't have, that's why America has been going out conquering fucking territories,
so they can put them everywhere.
The beginning of
I
time,
get it.
so they can put it somewhere. So that's that. And then what was I going to say? Oh yeah, the problem with that whole thing is you're assuming it's going to be in Iran or somebody like that. What if it ends up being like a rogue type person, Osama bin Laden character who buys a nuke on the black market and just who's fucking crazy.
We have yet for that to.
Clearly not that easy because I've said it should have been done by now. Some crazy person should have done something, even on a small scale that blows up a building.
Yeah,
but it's ridiculous.
That's my point. Is the Irans, the big countries make sense because the assured mutual destruction comes into play. We don't want to shoot this because we don't want to be evaporated from the planet. But if you're a guy who doesn't have an allegiance to a place,
I actually
and
don't
you're
think
just
it matters.
Some rogue person out in the desert with a tank.
I disagree with you though, because the U.S. have shown that like, oh, even if you're just part of a group, whatever region you're in, we're just going to come in and destroy that region.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like, have they not shown that at this point?
No, I guess you're a suicide bomber at that point, and you don't care about your life.
Sure, I just think you're using nukes. I think you're looking at nukes like it. I don't think it's as easy to assemble a dirty nuke within the States.
The detonator, like she was saying, one of the bombs apparently the blast from Hiroshima is the detonator for its bomb. So that blast blows up inside this thing and triggers the chemical reaction that makes the huge explosion, allegedly.
That's the hydrogen bomb.
Neutron bomb, whatever you want. What you were talking about was launch on warning. I think that's their rule that they do it by. For me, all this was true 15 years ago. Like, there's not some advancement that has happened all of a sudden.
No, we've had ICBMs for 30 years,
been
20 years.
Threat, so I think she was just redressing a thing. What I do think is interesting is when they talk about NATO and all these countries are ramping it up. Like what she says is everyone should be working against this. We should be trying to, but it's not going that way at all. Like they are preparing for a war.
They're always preparing for a war.
But why?
Because they're afraid of...
Because, they're going to tell us that Russia and China are going to... And obviously in Russia and China, they're saying these guys are... And I feel like NATO with America is the aggressor in this situation.
Listen, China's never coming over here.
I don't think so.
Not in a war type scenario.
Well, if they nuke it, there's no point to come here. Like it's...
I mean, I've said for a long time, I think China is America. I think they're the same thing.
Yeah, listen, if China were to go to war with America, they go broke.
Well, they're so dependent on each other.
Yeah,
like,
that's my point. First of all, they own all their debt. So I think the second you go to war, then you're like, well, I'm not paying you any of that money. So we'll get rid of that.
Yeah.
And we're not buying any of your junk.
So who are you going to sell it to? Because we're the ones buying it.
We're the only one buying it. We're buying it in mass.
But they made that happen, right? Like America.
Yeah.
It's just so coincidental how that all works out. And when you look back in time, like have you ever seen that graphic? It's like a internet thing where they show you countries' worth. And like China up until like
the 80s or the early 90s.
No, I think it's like the beginning of the 80s ish. You start seeing them just take off, and that's all America's money just being diverted. But like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, it's capitalism.
For Diablo Avocado, it makes so much more sense. China
what?
Just a government just does what they do. As long as you play within the confines, it's going to move ahead versus this push and pull of what political ideas we should go with. Like, no, this is how it is. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that suffer, and my life is so much better than all of them. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that it's just like good. And I'm sure there's people that feel like they got to get out of this place.
Yeah, but you're talking about every system in the world. There's people within every system that have it good and that are like, this is great.
Well, no, but
This is
I'm
working
saying
out
in our
smashingly.
democracies, every couple of years we switch and someone undoes something. Like maybe overall our system is better.
Well, there's a really shitty part to China, obviously, which are the factories that are making the American things. The reason that those exist is because America can't legally do that stuff here. So it's got to be worse, right? So that segment of the people, that can't be great. But there's obviously another segment of Chinese people who are buying
middle
all
class.
right. And that seems to be pretty fucking good because you don't have to worry about all the...
That's what I said. There are certain people in that system that are living fucking large.
But we don't know what the split of, like, maybe the working class in those factories is like a minority and the middle class, like, we just have no idea, right?
I think the thing is this, is like, you can make the argument that paying someone $1 a day to work in Bangladesh is like a living wage for them, right? So they're not, you might look at it from a North American standpoint and go, that's slave labor. Whereas that person's going, I'm actually making enough to live off $1 a day. My family's fed and I just live in a third world country.
But so $10 a day would make them a fucking millionaire.
I get it. You're missing my point. The point is in like, if your argument is China is like one of the most advanced and rich countries in the world, there shouldn't be any slaves, right? That's kind of the idea. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? Like in Vietnam and in fucking India and places like that. Well, I mean, India's a tough one because whatever. You get what I'm saying though? Like,
sorry, go ahead.
well, my point is just when someone lives in a third world country and is making way, 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 way below what we think they should, but it's enough to live, you can kind of be like, okay, it's not as greasy, I guess, still really greasy. But when you're going to China for it and you're like, this country has money, they don't have to have slaves, but they choose to, right? It's like America. If America had slaves right now, which we do, we just...
And I thought the whole point of communism was that everybody gets the same.
It's not communism.
It's some sort of communism.
Yeah, it's kind of gone away from communism.
It's capitalistic communism.
It's communism in the
It's open
sense...
for business.
It's communism in the sense that the government controls everything like top down.
I would love to know if you could quantify how many social problems they have in China.
Like homelessness and stuff like that.
and
Yeah.
just all this stuff.
Yeah. Again, we'll just never know that because we're not
Suicide, I bet
privy
you
to
suicide's huge there.
that. Do you think?
Probably.
Well, we know that the Foxconn factory put up nets because people were...
We know, isn't it somewhere if a girl turns you down in front of people, you kill yourself?
We don't.
that's Japan.
Listen,
They're talking about it.
that's a great story. The Apple nets. You know what I mean? We don't know. That just seems so like perfect for us to see. It was like the people dying on the streets.
But why
of
is it perfect
COVID,
for us
you
to
know?
see? It's not. You don't... Apple would never, ever want you to see that. No one would want you to see that. Why is it perfect for us to see? I'm just curious.
If America is trying to make China look bad, like a place that nobody is happy in and you would never want to go to and all of that, that's how you would do it, Matt. You would...
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword because you're also being like, we're buying products. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's a weird...
No, I mean,
it's an American
we're
company
all
doing it.
pretty sure that the people who are working in those factories aren't being treated very well
Well, I mean, the fact that you have to live there.
in the factories.
Yeah, they live at Foxconn. Yeah. That's a problem,
But again,
right?
maybe that's like amazing for them. Maybe otherwise they'd be living on the street. And that, again, I'm not saying that's the case. We just have so little information. And the information we get about China and about Russia, there's, like Kamar said, our governments, ours, the Americans, they want us to think that these people are bad and they're boogeymen. So
Simon.
when the time comes that they need to wage some war,
questioning
we're
it.
going to be on their side and have no problem giving them our dollars. Like, they've been doing this since the start.
Okay, but Simon, you have to admit that if you can buy a fucking a shirt over there for 1/20th of the price here, there's obviously a reason for that, right? And it's probably that the workers aren't getting treated very well. Right? It's not that they're skimping on the textiles or that they're not using the best dye.
All I'm gonna say is we pay a lot for things here because they make us pay a lot for things here.
Yeah.
They decide the prices, they decide the inflation, they control all of that shit.
Okay.
Maybe that's not how it works in places like China. And again, I have no idea, but maybe things are just a fuckload cheaper. Like, for real, because they're not busy being caught up in this, like,
And I'm sure there's sweatshops
capitalist-
everywhere. It's just we're all living off it. The blood minerals in Congo.
But there aren't sweatshops everywhere. What does that
I
mean?
bet you there are still kids making Nikes. Like, even though that seems
I
like
know, but what does
20 years
everywhere
ago,
mean? Of course there's still kids making
in
Nikes.
all the poor countries in the world.
Oh, there you go. You just hit the nail. Yeah,
We're all living off this exploitation of human beings.
I agree.
I just think that infrastructure, everything just goes smoothly in a one government system that doesn't. I mean, it sounds like just a commie lover.
So your stance is, just so I get this straight in my head,
I don't know that I made one, but okay.
your stance is that these people working in the factories in China, if China wasn't a dictatorship, they would get up and quit or revolt
Unionize.
or whatever.
Well, unions are a big thing. Yeah. Like if you could sit there and say, we as a group at Foxconn are going to walk out tomorrow.
And
if we
they
don't
press a button and the whole thing just implodes.
Yeah, exactly. And a new factory
Twin
flips
Towers.
over from the
Oh, is
basement.
that what you've decided?
Yeah.
Maybe, just throwing this out here, maybe there are so many people who live in China that there are people champing at the bit to have that job, and nobody would ever form a union like that because
My father was a Foxconner.
This guy
His
sounds
father
like
was a
that's
Foxconner.
No,
the
I'm
Jewiest
not-
thing you've ever said.
no, it's-
Maybe the
dude,
workers want to be working in the
For
factories.
argument's sake.
I'm playing Diablo Avocado because I don't know what's right. You're probably absolutely right, and people are being treated really badly because America is so busy getting new sneakers, and we could give a fuck, you know.
But there's some
in
guy
ni-
who's going to sell his daughter to get a job at
but
Foxconn.
who
In,
knows?
in 1904, we took the kids out of the mines. In 2004, they started playing Minecraft. The kids want to be in the mines.
They want to be in the mines. All they want to do is fucking dig with pickaxes. We're just making that possible.
Yeah, let's go. Get the coltan, kids. Get the
I
coltan.
was gonna say, why do you think Minecraft is so popular? Because soon everybody's gonna be literally digging for coltan.
You know what's so funny, Simon, is like there's so many video games right now that are jobs disguised as video games.
Like Paperboy used to be.
Sure. No, that's a great point. But I think it's because they might be getting us ready for like just what you're saying. Like you won't be in the mines. There'll be a
you'll be
surrogate in the
working- yep.
mines.
Nope.
But they're going to make a game out of it.
That's
and you're going to be
hilarious.
in there in the mines and you're not even going to realize it. You're going to be a free
Yep.
worker.
That's hilarious. That's probably exactly what they're doing. For all you know, you may be digging for fucking coltan right now
Yeah.
and not even know.
Yeah. All these pressure washing video games, there's actually a surrogate out there pressure washing a driveway.
You think you're going playing Call of Duty and you're actually just waging war in Syria?
I've killed 15
Yeah.
Palestinians last night. Yeah.
15, come on.
I said last night.
Oh, last night.
I'm not very good at the game anymore.
One of the problems.
Oh my God. We didn't talk about. Oh, you know what? I'll save it for the post.
One of the problems,
Mark's
obviously,
had enough with
is,
us today, by the way.
One of the problems is defense contractors.
Yeah.
Obviously, are trying to drum up business, so they're gonna, hey, if you can get a fight going over here. But we, as the public, there's a defense contractor, the government, taxpayer. There's no way for the individual to vote with their dollar. like in Raytheon or North, like, because they are obviously involved in keeping the need for weapons alive. Have you seen Palmer Luckey?
No.
You haven't seen him yet? He invented the Oculus,
Okay.
like 18, and sold it to Facebook for $2 billion.
Okay.
And now, like, he's just crazy, like goatee, wears flip flops, has just made a new Tetris Game Boy thing, and he is now in the defense contracting drones and like having goggles and stuff, space. And obviously, these guys are just like want to be successful businessmen. It just so happens that we need
biggest-
people to
Yeah.
to get killed for my business to flourish. So I don't know how to stop, Raytheon or Northam, because they will just keep making sure bullets are needed.
Which
or
they've
whatever
been
it is.
doing. They're probably those people you talk about when you say they.
Probably, yeah.
You want to know how you know war is a racket?
Because they wrote a book called that. Oh.
But I'll tell you exactly how you know war is a racket. If just take America, for example, okay? If America was really, if their prime directive was to protect themselves and not acquire land, they would spend all the military budget building a giant dome. You know what I'm saying? Like an Iron Dome type scenario that covers the United States so that they never have to worry about a nuclear bomb. The president doesn't have to ever worry about it because no missile can ever get in because we've built a dome that surrounds it. That's where every dollar would be spent. The fact that their solution is not that, and it's let's go get land in other places to make sure our missiles are closer to other people, like that just shows you right away that
I said
this
it months
whole
ago.
thing's a joke.
I don't even think nukes are real. I think it's all a sham.
Oh, that would make sense.
Think of how much money you can move every year by just telling people that nukes
He's
are real.
finally come around, eh? Like for like
don't know what
3
happened.
years, we've been saying that nuclear
No, but just think
bombs
about it for a
don't
second.
exist.
If all the heads of state got together and they were like, listen, we can all get rich off this. Not just us, but every future generation, every politician in the future can line their pockets. We just tell the people that we need to protect against this fucking thing that we made. And we just tell them they're everywhere. They're everywhere.
And
Security aside, it's the craziest waste of money that these millions and millions of dollars are in this metal silo in the middle of a desert that just sits there that we never want to use. But it's just it is.
forget that, Kamar, in subs that never stop moving.
Sure.
That never come up for air.
Sure,
you know?
we're Canada is about to like buy 6, and I bet you that'll be some boondoggle when we're
Oh, for sure.
70 years old, the sub fuck up or whatever.
What were you saying before that? Sorry, I had a
The
point.
nukes aren't real.
And then
There's just big bombs.
Yeah, I just think it would make. Listen.
oh yeah, I remember.
The whole mutual destruction thing, you'd think if they really, because I refuse to believe that people are so sociopathic that they're, like, if your goal is truly to get rich, then you need this all to stay together. Or what's it all for?
Can't say fuck it all.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, if you amassed all the wealth on earth, you don't then want it all to crumble around you because your dollars become useless. Everything you've done is for naught. And so I don't understand, like, if you really were like, let's get rich, you wouldn't be like, let's also have the potential to tear this all. Like, the fact that Biden can go circumvent everyone and just be like, I'm done with Poland. Like, not Poland, I guess they're part of it. But you know what I mean? Like, he can just hit that button. He doesn't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah, it's an insane.
It's lunacy.
It's lunacy.
Everything else in their country has checks and balances, dotted I's, crossed T's.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And you know what, Matt? That is exactly it. That makes so little sense that it can't possibly be true.
Right?
There is no
Right.
way they would let a nuclear bomb be in the hands of anybody.
Any one person.
Because you see that Trump is a perfect example, right? Like, Trump gets in, he ends up not being that bad. But what if he gets in and he's a maniac? They're never going to let that guy have the keys to the fucking, to the Porsche, you know?
I think nuclear winter is just like the blow up the atmosphere. Because I do not understand if Russia and America blow each other up and Australia just dies.
No, they're fine.
I think
No,
they
no,
are.
no.
I think they are.
Yes, they are. For sure they are.
No, there are no. First of all, the nuclear winter involves like you roast the
So
sky.
they say
No,
Okay.
she tells you though, like what happens.
in
She
the book.
in the book.
Well, you
She
didn't
breaks
read the
it down
book.
into 4 parts. But I did listen to another podcast where she actually tells you about all 4 parts.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like the radius of a nuclear explosion is not that far.
But,
but the
it
wind-
should make clouds.
I know,
There's a
but
bunch of-
she tells you, even with the wind, like it's certainly not getting over the oceans. It's dying out long before it ever gets from Russia to Australia.
Okay, but
You
what
know
if
I'm saying?
what if you've dropped it on DC right on the coast? You don't think that the whole ocean then?
America is fucked,
Fukushima.
and not
No,
even
you haven't let me
and
finish.
not even all of America.
Yeah, let me finish. If you nuke the ocean, do you not think that water's irradiated and that the currents, all the jet streams are not going to just
That's a
move?
lot of water,
Matt,
man.
they've nuked the oceans many a
yes,
times.
yes.
Okay,
They've
fair
done
enough.
so many tests. That's
Yeah, but
where
those
they
were
do
old. Those were old hydrogen bombs. They haven't dropped a new. The ones he's talking about. These.
Yeah, okay, fair
That's
enough.
all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know what they've
Keep in mind,
tested.
too.
They
And,
must
and
have
that's
tested
how
them
we
all.
know it can't be true. They've dropped it in the ocean and things are still alive.
Well, she
like,
said the weirdest thing that I didn't get. She said the ICBM when she was describing its path. Right, she was like, "There's 8 minutes where it's just rockets up," and then she said it's 5 minutes where it's just coasting like in the atmosphere. And then she said, and this is where she lost me because I was like, that doesn't sound right. She said then it detonates above where its like target is. So it doesn't even hit. Like my assumption was always it had like a ground zero. It hit the ground. There was a mass explosion,
I think
a shock wave.
Hiroshima was detonated something like 80 meters or 800 meters
Above.
Like
I assume
that's what they say. I wasn't there, obviously.
I've never been.
Wasn't.
But that I thought you were going because the planet's flat. It just got to go up and come back down. It doesn't go around any curve.
No, I wasn't going flat Earth there, Kamar.
And most people would be like, if you said nukes don't exist, everybody's in on this giant charade. They would say, well, there's no way that all these countries are going to agree.
It's not all these countries. That's the best part.
But it is some countries. You have to have Russia and China and
Yeah, yeah.
America and Syria and Iran, sorry. And
Israel.
all
And
these
North Korea, the
places
ultimate
agree.
heel.
All I'm saying, Matt, I'm going to agree with you. I'm just getting there is they already agree on all sorts of things.
Yeah, every country.
They're fighting wars right now, but nobody can go to Antarctica. They're fighting wars right now, but they're both on the space station together. Like these wars are a joke.
It's a
They're
business.
Well, even then, there's rules of war, which is insanity.
Rules of war.
But right, isn't that crazy?
Rules of war. That seems like something that would have happened in like the fucking 1700s.
I know, but doesn't that seem?
This weekend they were talking about how we're making the decision. No, first of all, we'll do whatever it takes for Ukraine to defeat Russia.
What?
And now they're talking about we may allow them to attack just inside Russia. We don't want them to attack all of Russia, but because of some of the positions, and up to this point they haven't been allowed to do that. What are we doing here? And it's obviously it doesn't even make sense. We'll give them billions and billions of dollars, but we won't actually let them attack. They can just sort of defend. It's a joke.
Can I ask you a question about right media? Because I'm not
Right-wing media,
Well, I'm
you
just
mean?
not usually watching any news. I know that what the stance of CNN is, because the left is pretty standard. What is the right out there like laying this all out for the people, showing them Zelensky as an actor and how obvious this whole thing is and how Russia wanted to be part of NATO and they weren't let in? Like, does anybody show that to the Americans?
There's support for Ukraine.
The right supports Ukraine as
Of course.
Doesn't that seem weird, though?
The right is skeptical of foreign aid in general as an idea and foreign intervention, but it's
What? No, that can't be right.
it's the minerals in Ukraine. It's both. All sides want to beat Russia. Like no, it's an agreement because despite what they fight over housing or these things or abortion, we all agree we got to send funding to Ukraine. It's been the right and the left this whole time. And Fox isn't sitting there going, Republicans are selling us out again. They sell
But
us.
why don't they? Like, if you're trying to beat the other side,
Because
this is the
if-
perfect
if
opportunity
we don't
for you
help
to do it.
Ukraine, Russia will coming knocking on our door. Is what is sold.
I think this just again shows you what a racket this whole thing is.
Such a
right?
racket.
Like that there are two sides. They're supposed to be fighting against each other. Like any
Or disagree.
opportunity I get to prove to the
Push
people that you're a joke, I'm definitely going to take that because I want to be elected the next
But
time.
every once
they
in a
have the
while-
perfect fucking opportunity to prove. Like it's so obvious. It's so and listen,
called crossing the aisle.
It's not only so obvious, but it would make a great story when you lay out the whole Zelensky thing. How he's an actor pretending to be, and then he gets in and he's used as a pawn by the like. Come on,
No,
it's
like,
all
you can't-
there
you
for
can't-
them.
You can't go. You can't.
But isn't that also like a former U.S. playbook?
And how come Trump doesn't just run on that? Like if he's really
Because
outside of the fucking
They,
structure,
as you said, they.
we'll try and kill him
This
again.
has got to keep going. That's what I think it was. One of the boys was the first one that said Trump just got shot, and I wrote back because World War III has to happen as scheduled.
Well, what about Palestine? Do you think Trump will pull out of? Do you think he'll get involved there?
Well, listen, his
Because Annie said I'm sure neither of you caught it, but she said the most interesting thing in this podcast
go on.
when she was talking about JFK. I know you didn't catch it. So she says to Joe, how the fuck did she word it? I have the exact timestamp. She says something along the lines of like, we can't really find out because there's a good chance that we find out that the people that killed JFK were a nuclear nation. And I was just like, well, there was only a couple of those back then. I don't think it was Russia. I think she was alluding that Israel had
Just throwing another hat in the mix.
JFK killed. Well, she didn't say it though. That was the weird thing. And Joe didn't push back at all. And she wouldn't say it. The way she said it was very like, she absolutely went out of her way to not say Israel, which I thought was very interesting. I'll pull it up for you at the break.
Well, Russia also is in that, right? Like, look, the whole thing was about them doing it.
I said that, but I have a tough time believing it was them.
The one thing I'll say that bothers me more about Annie, she is a television producer. Mm-hmm. So she has this, what she combines facts and dramatics. Mm-hmm. If you go to her Wikipedia page, it's very curated.
What does that mean?
I don't know what it means, but you go to a bunch of people that have early life. This is very
Like what he's saying is she wrote the Wikipedia
It's very
entry.
controlled more than most other. A journalist, a television producer. She does this journalism to justify being a TV producer, I guess. I'm not sure.
Joe did the best thing this episode too, when he was like, Bill Clinton has this quote from his book. And then he's like, Jamie, pull that up. And Jamie pulls it up, and he's like, this isn't really a direct quote from the book. And he's like, yeah, it is. That's it right there. And Jamie's like, well, this is on a Wikipedia page, and I can't really find anything else. And he's like, no, that's the quote. I can see it. I've read it before. And he reads the quote, and then Jamie's like, yeah, but there's a big ... here. And he's like, yeah, that's just them saying that there's more to the quote. And Jamie's like, yeah, but this is on a moon landing conspiracy Wikipedia page, Joe. Like, I'm trying to explain to you that this might not. And Joe's like, no, I've read that before. That's the exact quote. And I think Joe does that often where.
I think Joe's going to have some Biden moments coming up in the next couple of years.
Oh, that's
as
so
he keeps
sad.
going.
No, he's done so many nootropics. What are you talking about?
There's one. I'll talk about the next one.
Just to go back to what you were saying there with Trump and Israel.
Because Trump's a big supporter of Israel. Big.
Yeah. If I listened to, who's his son-in-law there?
Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner on Lex. Now, I think Jared Kushner is a piece of shit.
He is.
But if you go from what he says on that podcast,
Yeah.
they have like a whole resolution ready to roll out there.
Well, wouldn't that? But
That,
I mean,
that you would be happy with a,
No, but
a
here-
person who is pro-Palestine.
What-
I think there is a resolution there that just can't be reached because there's so much money involved, you know?
but do you not? I mean, it's weird that you would believe that because anytime anyone political said, "Oh, I have a plan that'll fix it,"
I
you would
don't-
automatically be like, "No fucking way."
I think I premised it by saying I don't know if it's true. I'm just telling you what he said
Fair
on
enough.
Lex.
Fair enough. That's what I would say.
They got into technology and AI, talking about translators, and it reminded me of a story that I meant to do a post, Joe. You know, it's a massive issue with when there's ever government briefings, there's translators. Have you ever been to something? They got these boxes, they sit in the back, and you go pick up headphones. But like 6 translators have had their eardrums blown out by, someone
someone
turning up
pulling
a
something out.
feed,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
crazy feedback. Like it's a big issue here because obviously there's so much government going down.
I have a tough time believing that.
I'll bring it up at the break.
Listen, the only reason I say that is because like there's many. I mean, this thing, which is worth like $1,000, has things in place where I can set it up so that no one's ever gonna.
But
And that happens to one person, and that lawsuit goes through. I'm sure they make sure it doesn't happen to.
I
another
bet you
6
there's
people.
some weird feedback sound you can make there and jack up the volume in and be like, "Ow, that hurt. That was really unpleasant."
Yeah, I think my point though, Kamar, is like, yeah, I guess, yeah. Listen,
It was just an opening for those translators, the phones. He had the he's loving the Samsung.
Now that I think
he
about
really
it,
is loving
Kay,
that
this
phone.
was a really hard week for you, eh? Because
Bunch of
Trump
lefties.
got shot, and then Sketch.
Oh my
Did
god,
you
that's
hear that
crazy,
whole thing,
eh?
Maddie?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's a weird one though.
Well, who gives like
Exactly.
You know what's weird to me is like I don't watch streamers, so like I've watched clips. I've seen clips of Sketch, Jinxie, Doctor Disrespect, all of them. Like I watch clips on YouTube if it's
Yeah.
funny or if it's a good clip, whatever. I don't watch them live, so I'm not a fan of any of them. I have nothing invested. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think. Like if I was a big fan of someone's music, and then I found out that they used to do gay OnlyFans, am I no longer a fan of their music? That's what happened, right? What am I looking at?
This is the injuries. To
Yeah,
the,
okay, I believe you. Yeah.
Fuck.
I think the whole thing is. Look, there's going to be definitely some people who just don't like gay people.
I get
and
that. Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
Going to want to.
Yeah, I'm fine with that,
Pay
sure.
money because this kid's obviously getting a lot of money through donations.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure he is,
because
yeah.
that's how it works
Yeah,
now. It's also possible that some people just like, look, if you're rolling with a podcast for a whole long time, you feel like you're one of the guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you find out that you've been lied to the whole time, and it just feels like.
Well, lied to is a weird thing, though. Like,
That's what lied about what? You
like
never asked.
if Sketch had come on and been like, "I've never done gay OnlyFans," just so everyone knows, I could see the lie. I get it. Like, I don't think being a big streamer, you owe it to everyone to tell them everything you've done in your past. How about that?
No, for sure. But like, look, if you're like, and I'm not saying Sketches like this. I'm just giving you an example.
Sure.
Okay. You're Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And your whole thing is like, you can mack the most girls.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get
yeah,
them
yeah,
all.
yeah.
And then it turns out that you do gay porn. I could see why people, not because of the gay thing, but
No, 'cause it's a
because
persona
nobody
thing.
wants to be lied to.
Hypocrisy.
Like,
Sure, but I mean, Sketch is like a weird, nerdy, autistic Madden streamer, so
for
that's
sure.
where it's weird
And I
to
would
me.
have
Likes
said
to
the
fuck black
same
kids.
thing until you see him out with like Steve will do it, and they're like trolling girls, and then you're just like, well, is any of this true anymore? That would be the only part. That
I don't
would,
know if
and I'm
anything's
not a
true.
fan, so I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like it means nothing to me.
I mean, the weird thing is this: like when I first saw Sketch, the first thing I thought to myself was, "This isn't real. This is a persona." Right? Like this is a created.
I thought you were gonna say this kid's gay.
No.
It's trauma. That's trauma that made
No,
that
sure, maybe it's
character.
that,
That's
but-
his Marshall Mathers.
But how could you?
No,
if-
'cause, like,
if you
Dr.
have this huge secret, how are you becoming famous? Like it's obviously gonna come out.
Dr.
Yeah,
Disrespect.
Didn't he say that in his apology? Like he's been stressed out about this. He was going to kill himself.
Yeah, I know, but then
You wanna talk to him.
why try and make that your
Because that's the number one career path.
yeah? So just get it while you can, and by the time it comes out,
Is
you've
the
already
internet.
made your millions of dollars.
Well, I just like it was the he lied. Like he never. I don't know. I for me it'd just be embarrassment. I'm just embarrassed. But so what?
And
Like,
if you don't ask, is it a lie? I mean, that's a good point, right?
Well, that was all I was saying was like the lie thing is what bothers me because I don't think it's lying. It's just kind of omitting. Like, there's an argument could be made that if someone had went on his stream, it was like, "Hey, did you ever fuck a dude on on OnlyFans?" That Sketch would have been like, "Oh,
Hello,
guilty."
brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, did you? If you found out that he didn't ever even play the games, like, would you be bummed?
no, I don't care. I think they're all crazy.
Listen, I think half of the guys that play Call of Duty are cheating anyway.
But this is my take. I was like, you know what? This is great. Like, girls got to suck dick and get trains guys. This is
equality.
the price he pays. It made me feel so much better that he didn't just play video games and fall into this. Like he had to, it's a long way.
grounded out
It's
like
right,
the rest
yeah, he
of
had to
us.
try
Yeah,
many
yeah.
avenues. Yeah.
If you got to rock and roll, like
I went drop shipping, that didn't work. I tried gay porn on it.
before
OnlyFans, that
I
didn't
was
work.
like free ride. This guy's just a free ride. Some guys have all the luck, but
If they told you,
he got in the trenches, man.
if
See,
they
there is
told
no
you-
overnight success.
if they told you could be famous, but this is what it was going to take, a
Yeah.
couple of 12-inch black
There you go.
dicks. I mean,
Do you want to pay the price?
how much do you want to be a millionaire?
Shows you there's a Weinstein at every level.
Hey, who wants to be a millionaire?
That's the new one. There's just a big black guy,
Sketch-
brolic black guy standing
That
there.
would be a way better game.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of dudes. This is it. Dudes naked.
Yeah.
Briefcase over their dicks, and you have to. It's like
like Deal or No Deal.
Deal or No Deal.
There's a guy with a $1 briefcase and a huge dick.
that's it. Well, you just don't know. You could have picked it right away, or you could have picked like the 4-inch.
You're like, Howie, I don't want any part of this. Howie's like, I also don't want any part of this. There's penises everywhere.
No, Howie's a slut for the social medias.
Oh,
He'll
yeah,
be there.
he would do it
He
for
just has to
sure.
wear gloves.
Howie would put his
On
dick
his
in the
head
box
and
if you
his
paid
head.
him enough.
Howie had Schaub on.
When was this?
I don't know. At some
This
point.
was a while ago.
Was
yeah.
it? Okay, either way,
and he
but he
pressed
had
him
him on.
about pissing in the sink.
Pissing in the sink. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Apparently, this is a whole thing that at the TFAKC whatever studio, they don't have a bathroom close by, so there's a kitchenette, and he'll constantly go in there and piss in the kitchenette, and everybody thinks it's disgusting.
that
but
is
because he's
disgusting.
Brendan Schaub, he thinks it's okay. But who even knows anymore? You know what I mean?
Doesn't he have a piss jug?
Yeah, you should talk to Ari.
Oh man.
We're done with Annie, right? There's no way we
Did we
talked
ever
an
get
hour.
started?
Oh, I
about a
totally
2-hour
forgot. That was
episode.
supposed to be his nickname. We never made that
totally
joke,
mistake.
forgot.
yeah.
Fuck, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's back, baby.
Yeah, a sketch was going to be a
PJ.
big sketch, and the assassination was a big post, Joe.
Yeah,
so we'll
well,
see what
you're
I
fucked
can dig
now,
out there.
man.
But I was thinking like Trump's.
You think Sketch was the shooter?
Trump's-
Trying to get the shit off him?
Trump's
I'm not
Interesting.
trending anymore.
Trump's
He'd be dead.
bloody hand, bloody ear, fist pump is Sketch's gay OnlyFans.
How many people? What do you think the over under? How many people have that tattooed on them right now?
What?
6
Trump,
people have it.
fist in the
Oh.
air, bloody face.
Well, it's the new Joe Rogan tattoo for sure.
Yep. No, but I'm asking one day later. Like
I
know,
don't-
someone was at the tattoo shop last night, right?
I don't think it's possible.
Guaranteed. I give
Yeah.
this one a 2.5. Now I'll give it a 3. Fuck it. I don't like the fear mongering, but
1.
I guess we should know. It's a 1. You love this woman.
I
I don't.
really wish Joe had just let her cook because
Mm.
it would have been a way better conversation.
Let her
Way
cook.
better conversation.
Let her cook, yeah. All right. That's it. We're going to take a break. We're going to pay a bill.
Oh, I didn't rate it.
Oh, rate it.
I'll give it a 2.5.
There you go. All right. Now we're going to take a break. Now we're going to pay a bill, and we will be right back.
2175 Sam Tallent.
Women. Those titties ain't retarded.
Sam Tallent.
It is interesting how little we know about like a country like Estonia or say countries who have only been around for 35 years or whatever, figuring their stuff out and acting differently to a comedy show because there's a generation, you know how we talk about 2 generations ago, that we're just, you don't talk about anything and I really envy that he went there and
Well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before with China and Russia. Like, we have, unless you actually go to a place, you have no idea what that place
but
is.
you have an
actually
assumption.
like. Oh, a
that
huge
it's come
assumption.
from media, school, what someone
and
told
years
you.
and years since you were a youngster, Kamar. Think about Russia for a second, okay?
I do.
I have a vision in my head.
Okay.
I've had it since I was 6 years old. As soon as I could formulate thought about things, I knew Russia had the Kremlin, with the spire top buildings. So I knew that their main city had at least one nice building, and everything else was gulag. People lined up for bread in the streets. Literally, like, and then there was Siberia, which they just sent everyone away into the cold. Like,
When I was 9 years
It's
old,
a big country. You know that, right?
no, but I'm just saying, Matt, I'm
Siberia
telling you,
exists.
like, in my head,
Yeah.
even to this day, there are no like skyscrapers in Russian cities.
Probably when I was 11 or 12, my stepfather went to Russia.
Yeah.
And he came back, and I'm sure I've told this story before, but he bought a Russian flag, and it's all coming. Like, what did this mean?
You mean a Soviet Union flag
Soviet
or Russian
Union
flag?
flag.
Okay, yeah, that's different.
Not the
So
red.
what are you saying? Like he came back and he was a commie?
Well, maybe he was a commie the whole time, but I took the flag and put it in my window, and they're like, "You can't do that," and I just had no understanding that what it was presenting. All of a sudden, like, holy fuck! You see the fucking Hargadons are a fucking bunch of Nazis or
Well, it's like how
commie
Che
bastards.
Guevara just ends up on the shirts
No
of
research,
young people for the rest of time.
definitely.
Like
Which is
there's just people walking around with Christopher Columbus sweatshirts
Yeah.
because he was cool for a while, you know?
It's a great segue because they were talking about the legend of the mothership, and we have been just as outsiders looking in, seen it from its beginning. That in like 20 years from now, he talked about expanding to other places. If it just becomes this bloated like Planet Hollywood thing, like will the magic maintain? It's still so new.
I mean, you want to say that it will, but we know just like anything else, when it gets too big, it's not cool anymore. That is just a story as old as time, no?
I think he'll open one more in Austin, like a theater, like you were saying. And I think he'll change the names of those to like Big Boy or Fat Boy and Little Boy, whatever. And I think he'll probably stop there. Maybe he'll go to one more city. I don't think it'll become bloated.
But they say you don't understand what a business is until 5 years. 5 business cycles.
I think it's a little different.
It's a little different when your
for
pocket
Joe
is
Rogan.
infinitely deep.
I think it was.
and
Blockbuster said the same thing.
You have
no, but-
free advertising for the rest of time on all the places that have the most views, you know?
Yeah, Kamar, I think, listen, if he was in a high overhead business where he could really overextend himself, I might agree with you. But like, what do you think the most he could lose on that club a year?
I don't
is?
think he can go broke.
No, I don't either. But I'm just saying, let's say worst case scenario, like how
million
bad
dollars a year.
That's what I'm saying. Like an amount of money that he'll make from.
Oh, more like it ends up like Kenny Rogers' rotisserie. It's,
No,
it's just
sure, I get what you're
the magic is lost. That's what I'm.
Like the Comedy Store becomes a mothership, the Comedy Store mothership.
Just a bloated sort of. I don't know. It's potential to happen. Talked about the Huck 2 girl, which did her first interview with.
Chicken fry.
It's so interesting the people who have capitalized on a moment or not.
Well, I feel bad for the Trump got shot because she was on a wave and it feels
Huck who?
exactly.
It's so funny though in that interview. She's like, "Yeah, I really don't want to be known as."
Well, no, I mean,
like too fucking bad.
We
That's the
wanted
only
you
reason
to want it to be
anybody
known.
knows who you are in the first
Yeah.
place. You don't get it both ways.
play the hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that we're horrible in that way.
If you ain't spitting on dicks,
You're not.
The only married one.
But no, but since she has spawned girls in interviews saying trying to outdo it. It's just it's a marvel of the world. Pride Parade. I was watching a thing where some guys were talking about like there's a difference between pride and kink, and the guys sucking each other off is kink, and they're not fans of that. Like it's if you want pride and include children and stuff like. You have to be about freedom of expression and not shitting each other's mouth.
and
as
it's
like
a
First off, you can't just get naked in the street. Doesn't matter if you're gay, straight. Like I can't just drop trow and be like, oh, it's because I'm proud and straight. Like that's not fucking
What do
cool.
you fucking?
You should.
What do you care about if they drop trow? Like the whole point is you don't have to go to that parade.
I know you missed the point though. It's like you shouldn't. Your kids should be able to walk around the city freely and not have to avoid an area because there might be some cocks out.
I think the whole thing.
Hold on, Simon. There's laws too. Why do certain people get to break the laws? How about that? Can I flip that on you?
I guess my point is you get a whole month. So if one day of that month you can't participate, like take it easy. Your
It has
kids
nothing to
don't
do with me.
need
I
to
don't give a
go to
shit.
the fucking Pride Parade. Nobody's saying that they the rest of the month they're free to fucking go wherever they want. You know?
I've been to a couple pride parades and I've always had a great time.
Yeah, that's because you like getting your dick sucked.
But I'm an adult. I don't know. I'm sure I'd have fun as a kid, but
Why wouldn't you as a kid? Like
it doesn't have
You probably
consensus
like
what goes on
watching
a
people
pride.
dress up as a kid, right? There's not.
but I don't know if I want to see the guys in their leather assless chaps.
Yeah.
Or I guess by definition, all chaps are assless.
Yes, that is true.
Or maybe I do want to see that and question it.
I guess the thing is, if you're like a father,
Yeah.
and you have a kid,
Yeah.
or kids,
Yeah.
just like don't take them to that parade.
What if you live on the parade route?
Okay, well, I guess that's a different story.
What if
I
they have a
don't
friend
think
who's
they're
going and they want to go?
I think
No, but
they
hold on,
usually go through pretty.
I understand, but I'm asking you the
Business-oriented,
question. I'm asking you the legit question. Why do you get? Why is it that on a normal day you can't just pull your cock out, but that for this one day it's like, well, they're just being proud of who they are.
Just as an example,
Yeah.
I bet you could go to like Escapade and pull your cock out. Like it just, you know,
I highly doubt it.
read the room.
Highly
you know
doubt
what
it.
I mean?
I think you get arrested.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you get arrested. Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's another scenario then. If you really want to whip your dick out,
Yeah.
go to the parade. Like it's your
So
shot
weird.
too. You can take advantage.
Yeah, I know, I know,
And you get the same rights as they do. You're
I was
so
gonna say
pissed
this-
because you can't
first
pull
off,
your
I'm
cock
not
out
pissed.
anytime you want.
No, it's just that we have obscenity laws because we as a public are like, we don't just want to see dicks in the street. And the whole thing is that showing your dick is not a prerequisite to being a proud gay person, that you don't need to do that.
You know what it is, Matt?
Go
it's
ahead.
The you know the movie where it's like okay to kill people for one night? What's it called?
The Purge.
It's a purge. If you don't want to take part in the purge, don't
Did we
go
all
and
agree
don't
this-
go outside.
did
And if
we all
you,
agree to
if
your-
you want to whip
You know
your
what?
dick out, go to Pride Parade.
He made the worst analogy because in his analogy, the gays are just showing up at your door with their cocks out, like banging on the door, like, we're out here, come here.
Well,
Play with this thing.
Did you see the latest video of?
like your security system can't hold up, and they
there's so many
storm
gays.
through the.
Yeah, it's like Normandy.
There's a huge party in your house.
They're all dressed like clowns. Yeah.
There's smoke machines all of a sudden.
Lady. Ba, ba, da, da.
It's raining men.
Exactly.
Hallelujah.
There was a video of a girl in a dollar store, and she starts filming. She's like, "What the fuck? He nutted on my leg. He nutted on my leg." And she's chasing
Oh
this
my
black
God.
guy out. So he had been in the dollar store jerking off, and then just turned and nutted on her and tried to.
See, so hold
to
on.
bail.
See, that's
No, wait.
a problem.
No.
So maybe
Stop.
if this,
If that guy yelled out straight pride, what do we do then?
well, it's not the parade day.
I was
So
impressed.
he goes to
I was
jail.
impressed. That
So
guy's-
Santa Claus parade.
No, not any parade. The Pride Parade, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's the
So if I set up
It's the- what's it called?
if I set up a straight pride parade, then we can just be going out nutting on random girls along the parade route. Why?
no. Because it's this Pride. You can just join in. We don't need another.
What a weird- why
we
is
don't
he
need
dying?
another parade. It's one parade is enough. You know.
No, have an after party. Just keep it a PG 14 or no 14A. But don't go go R.
And I bet you this too, Matt. I bet you even at the Pride Parade, if you nut on somebody, you get arrested. I bet you there's not a lot of nutting on people.
I've never been. I'm going to find out.
Well, Kamar's been. How many?
Kamar, how much nut did you see at
Or get
the
on
gay
you.
pride parade?
Not on me, actually. Not that much.
No, but how much did you see? Period.
Just nudity and
yeah, but
debauchery.
did you see any ejaculation?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my God! Speaking of ejaculation, I watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
What they even like? It's one thing to show me on your phone. It's another to be sitting there, and it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the big screen,
What
yeah.
is even going on?
told you, it's aggressive,
And how
huh?
is nobody talking about this?
I told you, it really snuck under the
There's-
radar,
there's
right?
no-
It went unnoticed.
I'm
You
not
didn't
seeing
notice
any
it.
videos about it.
You
like,
didn't notice it.
It's insane. Well, I did notice it. I hadn't
No.
seen that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I trust me. You can't miss it, Matt. It's not like it's happening in the background.
Dude,
they
it's-
literally pan right over to it, stop for a second, and then go back to the rest of the scene. It's crazy.
It's got to be fake dick, right? It's prosthetic.
That's probably how they
Just
get
a
away
sword
with
swallower and just
it. Well,
someone
no,
just like,
I mean, if you're like HBO, they're like, well, you can't do that. Well, it's actually not a real dick; it's a prosthetic.
they're like, it's a Starbucks cup we left in there accidentally. What's wrong, Kamar? Go ahead.
Why is he so angry?
I
that
don't
we're
know. He
talking
got
about
so
Game of
mad.
Thrones?
I think
What
we
is
should
going
really
on?
start up a Game of Thrones corner in the
I
post.
fucking hate you. Shut up and read your notes, monkey.
Have you guys seen The Patriot?
No.
The
with
paint shit?
With
The
Mel
Patriot.
Gibson.
With
You
Heath
haven't
Ledger
seen
and The Patriot.
No.
There is a scene in that movie that if you have a heart,
Yeah.
you will cry. It will break and you will cry.
Is it a Mel
I
Gibson scene?
defied you. Yes.
So you cried at a Mel Gibson scene.
before he was a Nazi.
Interesting.
100%. I bawled like a baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
But in talking about The Patriot, Joe had his Biden moment that he said, what a waste of Joaquin Phoenix. But it wasn't Joaquin Phoenix. It was Heath Ledger, but Heath Ledger also did the
Joaquin
the
Phoenix
Joker.
was in Signs with Mel Gibson. Maybe that's where he was getting confused.
Although we were talking about The Patriot.
I'm saying it was
He was having his Biden moment. You hate him. Don't
Joe.
defend him. Yeah.
I'm not defending him. I'm just
You
saying
hate him.
I
Don't
could
defend
see
him.
how he would get confused because in
gives
a
a fuck?
different Mel Gibson movie, the leading man actor is Joaquin Phoenix.
What movie is this?
Signs. The alien one? You've never seen it?
Mel Gibson's the lead of that.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Swing away.
It's terrible.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've
Wha-
seen Signs.
Whoa. Whoa. Terrible.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack the brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Matt and Simon go head to head to find out what year movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing a Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees, picking up Signs, which you should have said M. Night Shyamalan. I know why
Terrible
I never
movie.
saw it. I know I never saw it.
Sometimes I think you just say things to be difficult. Like
It's
I
not a
don't
good
even
movie.
think you
It's-
believe.
What about it
the
is a good
fucking
movie?
Stupid words that come out of your mouth. It's crazy.
Kamar,
Sounds like it sucks.
Kamar, say what you. Yeah. So why
Yo,
did you not
it's
see
so
it?
good.
Why
Because
did?
of M. Shyamalan.
Okay,
My ding
listen,
dong.
Granted, M. Night Shyamalan makes a couple of stinker movies. There's no doubt about it. Sprinkled into those stinker movies are a couple of fucking gems. If you can't see that, you're a fucking hater.
I feel like though with the M. Night Shyamalan movie, he's almost like a DJ Khaled. Like we the best throughout a song, or DJ Mustard
Well,
on
the
beat.
fact that he sticks
DJ Mustard on
himself
a
in
beat.
every movie.
Yeah. Well, Quentin Tarantino does that too.
I know it's a real
But he-
fucking obnoxious.
But he doesn't like
play.
as a Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
And if-
Where's M. Night?
If Tarantino out of 10 movies made 7 stinkers, you wouldn't be stoked that he was putting
it's
himself in the movie. So I'm agreeing with you. He makes stinkers.
The
Okay.
Signs is one of them.
Signs is an incredible movie.
No.
I defy you to watch it right now and not think it's a
Not
good movie.
according to
Well,
Rotten
I'm not going to
Tomatoes.
watch it because it's a detestable film.
Well, I mean, I get it because you already know the ending.
you thought Frailty was good. Can you write down your answers,
You're
please?
stupid, man. You are stupid. You know, some of the movies you tell me to watch.
You're
whoa,
stupid, man.
I watch them and I seriously, I'm like, is this guy like? Do
What
I
movie?
even know
What movie?
him? I don't know. I can't remember.
'Cause
the
I haven't
last
ever
movie
told
that
you to watch a movie.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're.
fuck.
It'll come to me at some
We aren't
point.
even friends. I don't tell you to watch anything. Get out of here.
Shut up.
Will you write down a year at least for Signs since you love it and know it so well?
Well, I didn't say I knew when it came.
Do you think it was a horror film?
No,
think it was a
it's
borer
suspense.
film.
Well, what?
Because according to this, it's a science fiction horror film.
I mean, it's definitely science fiction.
I would have
It's
said science
aliens.
fiction. Yeah, that's
It's
where I
like
would've gone.
it's in the same genre of like
Genre.
aliens, very themey and a lot of like you don't see exactly what's going on, you know. Just hold on a second. Probably was.
Some of this fucking Jew carry the one. Kamar, there's no more festivals this year.
There's 2 more actually.
What is there?
There's Folk Fest and River Fest.
Okay, well, those
Are you
those
going to
trash.
both of them, Kumar?
I want to go to both of them.
What about Concert on the Clyde?
No, that hasn't happened in a while. Riverfest is 3 days, like the 4th, 5th, 6th. And then Folk Fest is the next weekend. So it'd be quite a bit.
Okay, I'm ready.
But there's good acts. Sean Paul is
Shut up, Paul.
headlining one of the nights.
All right, I said it came out in 2002.
And I said 2004.
Well, if you said 2002, you are correct.
Whoa.
Bing, bing, bing,
whoa,
bing, bing,
whoa.
bing, 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 bing.
Okay.
Alive and in the driver's seat. Go ahead, Simon.
Okay, so I said it cost $57 million to make, and
Yeah.
it grossed $321.
Wow, I said it cost $41 million to make, and it made $178.
Oh, well, you were close with the budget. $72 million to make.
Wow.
$408 million at the box office.
Because it was a very good movie. People loved
No.
it. They told their friends
No.
about it, and
No,
those people
Simon,
went back
no.
to see it.
It's because people got
That-
conned. No, what happened was this. His first movie was a fucking banger. Biggest cliffhanger, arguably, in movie history. Then everyone got conned into going to see his next 3 films, which were absolute fucking dog shit. Signs is one of them.
I think he makes world movies, though, no?
What does that mean? Like Bollywood?
Is he an American?
He's an American filmmaker, yeah.
You want to know something about me, Matt? I don't get caught up in like the
I don't like the way you're talking to me right now, one
the
fucking iota.
art of the whole thing.
No, he was born
I'm
in
just the
India.
guy who goes to see a movie, and if it's a good movie, I say it's good, and if it's a bad movie, I say it's bad. I don't care about the fucking camera work. I don't care about the this. I don't care about the that. I feel like you're getting caught up in that kind of stuff. Like you can't enjoy a movie because you feel like it's beneath you
Rate,
as a
quick,
viewer.
quick, boom, 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 boom. I'll just say the name of his, and you're like, oh, okay, that is a good movie. 6 Sense,
Was good. Not my favorite, but good.
Yep, good.
Unbreakable,
Good.
Terrible.
You're stupid.
Signs,
Terrible.
Great.
The Village,
Terrible.
Terrible ending, but actually not a bad movie.
Lady in the Water,
Terrible.
Yep.
The Happening.
Terrible. Oh my God. The Happening might be the
didn't
worst
see The
one.
Happening.
It's with Marky Mark where the wind is trying to kill them.
Oh, that movie.
We've
fucking
got to run away.
That movie
I wish I could
stinks.
do. I'm Marky Mark. Again, I have to hear
Say
it.
hi to your mother for me.
The Last
Hey,
Airbender.
hey, dog.
Hey.
Hey, dog. The wind's trying to kill us.
Hey, wind.
Hey, wind.
You
why don't-
can't catch me.
Hey, wind. Tell your mother to fuck off.
The Last Airbender.
It's horrible.
Didn't see that.
The Visit.
Didn't see that.
The Visit is the one about the grandparents. It's actually not horrible.
I didn't
not
see it.
terrible. So they go to stay with their grandparents,
Okay.
and then the twist
Yeah.
at the end, because you're never going to watch it,
Okay.
the mom sees the grandparents on video chat. She's like, "That's not your grandparents." It was just crazy people living in the house. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But they didn't know because
It worked on me.
they had never met their grandparents.
It worked on
before.
me, man. And I didn't even see the movie.
Yeah.
They're in the room.
Yeah.
That's the movie game.
Well, he has way more movies than that. What happened?
What are you talking about?
No, none of them. It wasn't over around and like, wow, this guy makes movies. He'd Split, Knock on the Cabin Door.
Yeah, those are all big movies. What are you
They all-
talking about?
I don't watch them because
Oh.
he made them.
We were doing a game, I thought, where we were.
Were we?
rating
What else
his
did he
movies.
have? There's no way he had more movies.
He definitely has a lot more movies.
A lot more movies?
Glass.
That's a continuation to Unbreakable.
Yes. Also bad.
Split. That's Unbreakable again.
Old.
That's the one where they go to the beach and the kids.
Oh, yeah. And they all
age really
become
fast.
old when they get in
It's
the water.
Horrible.
Yeah. That one's really bad. Yeah.
And
Horrible.
Knock at the Cabin.
Was really bad. That's the one with Dax from Guardians of the
Shepherd.
Galaxy. No. And they're staying in a cabin, and they show up and say the world's going to end tomorrow. You have to. Pick
Oh, yeah,
somebody
yeah,
to
someone's
die
gotta
or
die,
whatever.
yeah, I
It's
didn't see
also
that, yeah.
very bad.
So he's so you would agree
So I
that he
just
doesn't.
16 movies.
Hey, listen, I said.
And they're all horrible.
I wasn't saying that he was a good director in any way. I'm saying he made one gem. That gem is Signs.
Absolutely. No, not. Absolutely not.
Well, if people agree with me,
How
Let
about
us
this,
know, let us
Kamar?
know.
Can you look at Signs? What are the ratings on like Rotten Tomato and all that? I'd like to see. Fanometer and all that.
we're going to see a movie. Well, we're away actually. That new one, Daddy Longlegs.
Where are you guys going?
It got 98% on
Yeah, I saw,
Rotten
yeah.
Tomatoes.
Nick Cage.
75% based on 237 reviews from critics with a rating of 6.8 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. Scored 59 out of 100 on Metacritic.
59 out of 100.
What was the Rotten Tomatoes? I'm sorry.
Cinema Score gave it a B.
This is Signs, right?
Yeah.
Roger Ebert gave the film 4 out of 4 stars. It's
Okay.
a piece of shit.
No, that's so silly. That's so silly. If you don't trust Ebert, who are you going to trust? Frank?
Piece of shit.
Hot garbage, man. Dust.
I don't want to play your game.
Dust.
Terrible film. I cannot stress that enough.
You're stupid. You should watch it again.
I will not watch it again. That is a terrible film.
So they go back to talking about Russia and like this thing of, we just think NATO is a great thing and the wood is a better place for it. But it really is just the biggest purchaser of weapons and doesn't really do much, has been somewhat ineffective. There's a couple of situations where I guess in Serbia they did have intervention that worked out. There's other places where they didn't do anything. It's such a weird thing to like, it's us. It's only us. If anyone attacks us, we all attack them. And then there's other people that aren't in and we get involved in their stuff as well, where it should be just be like, let them self-determine. I don't know. Sam sounds like he's been stuck on the road, which makes it not sound exciting.
So sorry, just back up a second.
To NATO.
You think that the best way to do it would be you take care of your country and whatever happens somewhere else happens.
No, what he
and
said
if there's
was-
mass genocide that goes on, it's not in your backyard, so don't fucking
Well,
worry
that's
about
what
it.
What he said was if you're a NATO country, you're protected.
Okay.
But if you're outside of NATO, then yeah,
But
unfortunately.
we know that NATO won't even let Russia in. They want, you know what I'm saying? So there's lots of places that probably
NATO
want to be
requires
in NATO.
other people to form alliances. Like we're ganging up. So
No, but I'm saying, like, look, I agree. I'm the one who said they should be spending all their money to build a dome around the country. But if you are America, okay, and let's say you have like a legitimate good government there's no more military industrial complex. All the money that's supposed to go to the military goes to build the dome around you.
Yeah.
And if you want to have an army, fine, for the time where you may have to stop like a Holocaust of some sort. Are you in favor of stopping the Holocaust, or do you think, like you said, well, that's over there, let nature play out?
atrocities happen.
So just whatever. It's
But
not
Simon,
on
we
our-
allow those
No,
to happen.
I'm asking.
I know, but what I'm telling you is that we allow those to happen often.
Okay, but we're not supposed to, right? Like the whole point of America, their whole reasoning for going out and taking all these bases is the idea that when the time comes, they're going to be there to...
Is that the idea?
Well, I think so. Like they're the biggest member of NATO. NATO is the ones who will step in to make sure that smaller countries don't get ran over.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we often see like Rwanda, how many fucking genocides have we seen in the last 30 years where they've done nothing, or where the collective have done nothing?
Too many.
So I get it what you're saying. Like, yes, and keep in mind, World War II was an
didn't go there to
accident.
start
That's
the
what I'm
genocide.
saying.
They were working with the Nazis. Like when you look at the way World War II worked out, it's fucking crazy.
This is what I'm saying. So
Like-
don't act like at
No,
any
no, no.
point it's like we're here to stop genocide.
I was asking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, I'm saying we as good people walking around, we hope that's what it's there for. So that, yeah, hey, look, this poor country is being run by a warlord who's got kids fighting and they're killing millions of people.
Even this,
But if you're a white country, then for sure the U.S. will help you.
this idea,
Well,
That's what NATO countries tend to be, yeah.
interesting.
this idea that NATO's like, we're letting the Ukrainians, we're just helping them. We have nothing to do with this. This is a
they're-
war between nations, but they're supplying all the money.
Did they join NATO?
No, they're not NATO yet. So it's this weird situation. If you're an alien, like, why are you guys sticking up for this person? They're not part of your
Because
agreement.
they said that they're going to be in the club. So
But didn't they say they weren't going to be in the club and
I don't
everyone's
know.
going to be happy?
No, it's
Well,
like
that's
when you're a
what we
member
were
at a golf
told.
course, you're on like a 1-year probationary period. Well, all the members get to.
Interesting. I thought it was like a golf course where you're getting in with a member. You
Oh,
what
I
mean?
got you.
can
Yeah, yeah. This guy, yeah.
But you got to play with
I see.
me because
Yeah,
I'm the
'cause
member.
I'm the
For
member.
the most part, it seems like NATO is the aggressor on the planet Earth.
Interesting.
But it's not. But they.
Well, is it NATO or is it the U.S.?
Wow.
I'm just saying Finland is part of NATO.
France does some sketchy shit.
Well,
they
it's
get
just
involved
like,
in Libya
it's
and
just-
stuff like that.
it's
There's a
just-
lot.
It's just like us, Maddie. You don't say, is it Canada or is it the U.S.? Where they go, we go.
Yeah, I get it.
That's all of NATO.
Yeah, I understand, but what I'm saying is like I have a tough time believing that like there's certain NATO countries that are probably just like we'd rather just sit back. You know, there's always that fight, and there's always one dude sitting back who's like, I have no desire to fight this at all.
Yeah, I just don't think you have a choice.
I know you don't. I understand, but
Mexico,
also,
Brazil, like all the countries that are not involved.
but hold on, who are we kidding here?
Africa, Nigeria, South America.
When we go to war
are
for
countries.
NATO, we send like 2,000 troops, and the U.S. sends like 35,000, and I bet Finland sends like, you know what I mean? The discrepancy of people you're sending.
Yeah, I think it just has to do with your population. Right?
Yeah, I get it. Forget
I've
it.
always said we could play
Forget
a
it.
role.
M. Night Shyamalan. It's fine.
We could play a role as refugees,
Canadians are refugees.
taking people in from war-torn countries and stuff. But even then, that has its consequences here. If we can stop the conflicts, then we don't need people leaving other countries to come to other countries. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
If we stopped conflicts, then you wouldn't have the people storming in.
That's what I think. I don't know though.
But you would, because you would never get there in time. You'd have to police the entire fucking planet, which I don't know.
And
if
there's just
possible.
conditions that people are willing to leave to go to another country. There's ceilings, I guess, as you go around
I mean,
to other countries.
most of the time, granted, I guess there are times where some people are like, I think the economy is better there. But for the most part, it's because of war that people leave their countries.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you it's like 95%.
I don't know, man. We take in mostly Indians, and there's no war in their country.
I think about that sometimes.
Interesting.
Brantford?
Well, no.
Brampton?
Yeah, well,
Brampton,
that's to
sorry.
America.
No, but
You're saying Canada?
Like if you look at the numbers of immigrants in the last 5 years, I think it's like not mostly, but the highest percentage is from India, and there's no war there.
Well, but there was
but the living conditions.
no.
might be terrible.
There's been a huge run of students getting student visas, and then, I'm here. I've been here for 4 years. I got a job, and it's a very easy transition. And they just starting to clamp down on that.
So I mean, my
That
problem
was
with
a
taking
huge move.
my problem with taking a lot of people in from poor living conditions is that we never ask, why did that place? How did you get to have poor living conditions? Because if you just bring them in and you never ask that question, what is to stop them from making? Toronto right now is
Well,
wild.
what if the answer is, as a country, India just did a bad job of population control? They have too many people.
So what's going to stop them from?
No, but I'm just saying that's the reason that you would want to leave.
I guess
Like you're
sure.
not just saying, I want to go to America because it's better. You want to go there because there are too many people and not enough resources.
But America would be a weird one because there's a ton of people in America, right? I guess
Or
Canada would make
Canada,
more
right?
sense because
Yeah,
there's not a
sure.
lot of people here.
But I mean, even in America, they have nothing compared to India.
Oh,
Like, how
there's
many
so much
people
empty
does-
space in the U.S.
No,
it's
but
crazy.
I'm saying, how many people does India have? It's so much more.
It's
than
1.2
America.
billion.
What's America?
Just shy of 400 million.
Yeah, so this is
It's 3 times the people. Yeah, on half
is that
on half the space.
only 3 times.
Yeah, it's only 3
You'll
times.
never know.
Yeah, I just told you it's 3
No, but
times.
you'll never take a helicopter and fly all over India and see,
Well, again, it could
we'll never understand how much land.
it could be
Heaven is a
it could
place
be
on
a
earth.
Russia thing,
Yeah.
but what we know about India are all the people on top of the trains from the MIA video. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you really it's all media for you, huh?
no, I'm just saying that's how. Like, unless you've been there, you see, I know people who have gone there. I've never been there myself.
Oh, you
but
know-
I've,
okay.
I've heard firsthand.
So you have 1
stories
degree of
about
separation from India, yeah.
Well, which is better than just getting it from the media, Matt,
From MIA videos.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But they
or
just have-
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
So
Or
super
Bollywood
dense,
videos.
super dense,
super
urban.
dense. No, well, I assume it's not a big enough country to support all the people.
I
It's
bet
not like
you can go for
Canada
hours through Indian countryside and not
and just
see
not
anybody.
well, but it's inhabitable.
All habitable.
You mean uninhabitable?
Uninhabitable. Uninhabitable.
Inhabitable means people could live there.
No, I'm saying it's uninhabitable.
Yes.
Isn't
yeah,
that
I gotta
what I
add the
said?
no. You said it's
We're
inhabitable.
just
It's
off the rails here,
uninhabitable.
but there should be, with our human ingenuity, a super luxury hotel in Antarctica.
No, but I'm saying,
Shouldn't
Kamara,
there be?
why don't you think
God, you
people
wanna go there so
Why
bad.
don't you think people live like in the back 40? You know what I mean?
Where?
In Canada.
No water.
no, it's cold
No,
as
because
fuck.
it's so hard. The lifestyle is so hard.
The back 40, you mean above Hudson Bay shit?
Not go even closer than that.
But
you
there's
know?
people above that. So
No, I
riddle
know,
me
but
this.
not a lot.
No.
Like we're the same way. We have all our people at the.
I
border.
believe the whole world can fit in Texas with room to spare.
That's
That
standing
can't-
side by
that
side.
can't
No,
be right.
room to spare.
That
Okay,
can't-
but
no,
even
no,
then-
no. That cannot be right.
Buddy.
Why
that
can't
cannot-
that be right?
And Ontario's big
People
as
aren't
Texas.
big.
The population
Yeah.
of the world.
Texas is fucking huge, Simon.
Hold
Do you
on.
understand what
Hold
you're
on
saying
a
right
second.
now?
Room
Hold
to
on a
spare.
second. Hold on.
But you're saying it like, I mean, that's a weird. What does that mean?
I think maybe like a hand between hands.
Okay, well now you're exaggerating, but either way,
everyone
everyone can spin
giant
360.
exercise
Yeah,
and turn to your left and
yeah.
shake your hand.
Everyone in the world could do yoga in Texas. Simon doesn't like his
Yeah,
answer.
and,
Simon doesn't like the
everyone
answer.
would have a giant mansion too to boot.
You're talking about how much money there is on Earth?
No, just there's enough room for everyone to have 40 acres. No, that's out of control.
What is it, Simon?
Well, of course, I see where Kamara is getting his information. It's from this
Teen
one
Vogue.
guy. It's Mad Magazine,
Yeah.
actually. Robert Kunzing of
Yeah.
the National Geographic. So he's not even like a.
He's from National
Scientist.
Geographic.
He's not a scientist.
Why not?
Because it would say Dr. Robert Kunzig.
Well, that just means he has a PhD.
Population.
Joe Biden.
His. Right now, discussing his article, population 7 billion. He said he did the calculations. I also can do calculations, by the way. And the entire world could fit in Texas if each person were allotted the same average square feet of living space as in New York City.
Oh, there you go. More than enough room to do yoga.
But I don't think you go more than 10 feet without seeing some.
Yeah.
There's no openness.
Yeah, Mandeep Singh's right beside you.
Did you see the footage of you did good, Joe? You answered all his questions and showed him who's boss, and he's like, I did. It's so sad. Capsicum. I remember I thought it was so silly when
Capsaicin.
well, in Australia they call it capsicum.
Okay.
And I was like, you fucking guys are retarded. It's red peppers.
You guys want to play basketball?
And yeah, and basketball. And
The funniest thing Sam said here is when they were talking about all the ancient Greeks raping kids and fucking their thighs. Sam said the funniest thing. He's like, "Well, my thighs got raped, but at least I know geometry."
Pythagorean theorem.
I fucking died laughing.
Jailbait pedophiles. They also talked about the settlers. I went and saw Horizon.
I haven't even heard of that. What's Horizon?
It's
It's the movie that
people from the east.
Kevin Costner ruined his newly minted reputation on.
Before, during, and after the Civil War.
Yeah, and it's bad.
The first one was sort of shitty, but just the idea of those people, though.
Wait a minute.
And it-
Is this a TV show or a
It's a
film?
4-part movie. I don't know what they're
A
going to do.
4-part
I
movie?
think that's the intention.
Listen, only one part is ever getting made, Matt. 100%.
One part is made and out
Yeah, I know.
What is
And
it out on?
got
Paramount?
tanked in the reviews.
on the big screen, man.
No way.
Here, what's the movie called, Kamar?
Horizon. Wow, that's hilarious. It's out on the big screen. It's already being tanked, and he wants to make
But
3 more.
But like, there's electricity.
We went through
does that
this
mean?
last week.
Like the cities, England and stuff are like there's downtown London in 1800 is a place. You know what I mean? Like and these people are just in a wagon. They may have come from Ireland or whatever, just going in that direction. And there's Indians trying to kill them and bears and But they kept going.
Yeah.
It really is impressive.
It's nuts.
And they work the land. Like it'd be so cool if there was a population just stayed.
You know, you brought up. I thought about this week. I was so high, and I was thinking about money and inflation and printing money. So let me ask you a question. When you print money, obviously, if you just print it ad nauseum, it debases the value of the currency, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we used to, like, the whole thing we do is we moved off the gold standard, right? That's the big deal.
Money was backed by gold.
But weren't guys just pulling gold out of the ground?
So who knows how much gold there was?
Well, no, because like they tell us there's a finite amount of gold, right? And I guess I believe that.
Well, there's just a finite amount of planet.
Yeah, I get that. So I what I'm saying is I agree. We just don't know that the finite amount they're giving us is the correct amount, right? Like you're saying, in Antarctica, they could figure out that there's a gold deposit there worth $10 trillion, right?
Or the core of the planet could be constantly producing gold that it pushes up
Sure.
through the mantle every 1,000 years.
My point is, if it's constantly pushing gold up through the mantle and we're just pulling it out of the ground, doesn't that debase the value of gold too? Like, isn't that
if we knew that.
okay?
Wouldn't it make
was so
sense
high.
that
Yeah, I think it was
gold
I think
probably-
you Terrace Howard that one. You're like, if this is this, then that is.
Well, no,
this.
because I was thinking about it. I was like, literally, you used to just be able to pull money out of the ground, which I guess is that's
Still can.
You still can.
No, I get it, but it's just like that's how money. What I'm saying is, when gold was the standard, right? Like pre-paper money, when it was just gold, like you could literally just be like, I'm just gonna go dig for some money. Like it's an interesting concept, right? Like,
and sometimes you'd be like, oh my god, it's a nugget.
yeah, arrow through the
Arrow
neck.
through the
Yeah.
back of the neck.
But
and
the
you're-
same remains true today.
Vulture food.
Like nothing has changed.
Yeah, you could go get gold right now.
No, I understand that.
You
I
can
get that.
go find jade in the hills.
Yeah,
and
amethyst
get
crystals,
paid
whatever the
for
fuck.
it.
Yeah.
That still remains true. That form of currency is the, like, you know, your I was going to say your civilization could end and gold will still be of value. But what even makes gold of value? Like, you have to decide collectively, right? That gold is worth something.
That's also another point.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise it's.
Well, I think
just
gold did have value
anything
because
could
it was
be anything.
it was a malleable metal. Like it has a low boiling point, right? So it's very malleable. I think that's why
I know, but it's not very strong at all. Where you would think that most metals would be.
yeah, but I think the strongest metals we didn't figure out until recently. You get what I'm saying? Like steel or any sort of like you got to think gold came around a very long time ago.
Gold came around a very long time ago. Yeah,
Right, so
long before the Klondike Gold Rush.
Precisely,
Yeah.
long before that. So So I think you have to go back to when, we're talking about like the Iron Ages and shit. Maybe even before that.
Before
I'm retarded,
yeah.
so
The Iron Ages is when they came up with iron. So
yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah,
you have to go way back, like before the Egyptians.
who knows? The point is, gold has always had some sort of high value.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Well, that's
though.
why Sitchin thought.
So you think the gold is worth what it is because it was easily made into things that look good.
Yes, and easily transported. And again, you could burn it down at a lower temperature, right? Like,
Stretch it out.
When
weird.
you burn, okay, this is a stupid question. When you burn gold down,
smelt
does it
it.
take up less space? No, right?
I don't think so,
Like
no.
1 gram of gold.
Still a gram of, I mean, keep in mind, a gram of gold might be big and thick in the sense that like it's full of holes and space in it. And then if you just boil it down to, right? Like I could have, like, I'll put it to you this way, Simon. I have a handful of gold that's like this much. It's the same weight when I melt it down. It's just
Yeah.
more compact.
Well, that's what I mean. Is
yes.
it easier to
Yes, I believe so.
to transport
Yes.
if it's boiled down?
Yes. Well, wouldn't there be less space in between all the, right?
You're saying because there's air between the particles
Precisely.
of
Precisely.
the yeah. How much space
I'm so
do you think
stupid. I
that
dropped out of high
actually
school.
saves you?
Enough.
Really?
Yeah.
So when they transport anything, do they do it like nothing is transported in a frozen state then?
What do you mean frozen? In its natural state? No, they probably move it.
Metal frozen.
I just
Well,
think
like-
you want golden bars. You wouldn't want it.
Just solid. It's not frozen.
No, that is. I was thinking
Like
more
Simon,
of,
even
like,
if you take it,
popsicles.
like usually, even if you took a ton of gold to a pawn shop, there's a good chance they're just going to smelt it down into a fucking little piece
Yeah,
of gold
yeah,
and then go move, right?
Isn't it crazy that they used to drop blocks of ice off at people's houses to cool
Yeah.
them?
I
Or
sold
to
a
have your
ring.
refrigerator.
I sold a ring that some guy gave me when I was living in Australia for like he wanted $50 to put in a slot machine. It was like this. My grandmother gave this to me, and
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Did you give him the $50?
yes, and I gave it a ring because
That guy had a pocket full of gold rings for sure. For
All
sure.
from his grandmother.
Yeah,
He had just
100%.
robbed his
No,
grandmother.
no, he just had a fucking
whatever
bought
it
a
is. I
box
don't
of
remember how
shitty
much it
gold
was,
rings.
but he was going to get paying back tomorrow. It was just a
Yeah, I'm just going to consign and hold this. Yeah,
Placeholder,
yeah.
collateral. And I never saw the guy again. And I moved back to Canada and I had this ring kick around. I was like, what is this worth? And I went down and I got like $40 for it.
So it wasn't real.
I guess it had some gold in it.
You got $40 for it.
I did not think it was worth thousands of dollars. Of course, I was hoping. Anyways, that's my gold story.
We've been over the whole gold thing, though. Gold is important to dragons, which is interesting.
All right, keep going. Are we done?
It's got to be social media.
What does that mean? It's got to be social media.
The divide, the disagreement, the
Yes.
the anger, everything.
Social media is the problem.
I think it's. Hold on. You act like there wasn't a political divide before social media. It's amplified it to a level that is untenable. How about that?
Yeah, before, only the people who were really interested got involved in politics.
Simon, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying it's not just social media amplifies everything. That's what it does. That's its
Yeah,
job.
No,
And
100%. Without social media, we're probably way better off.
yeah, I think we can all agree with that.
The only thing social media does now is pads the pockets of people who don't have your best interest at heart.
Yep.
It's interesting. Like the defense contractors need conflict in real life
Yep.
to keep the lights on,
Yep.
and social media needs conflict online to keep the lights on.
Why do they need conflict though? Like I thought their whole thing was just sell you products.
Bullets.
No, the social media, like their whole goal.
They want to keep you engaged, and what they've realized is the best way to keep you engaged is normally when you're angry and engaging someone else fighting about something.
But there's a discontent that is a byproduct of it all. That it's like toxic waste that they always said, well, we'll just dump it in the water. No one's accounted for.
Yeah, we'll deal with it later.
consequences, yeah. That would it would appear. Yeah, Sam Tallent, he's a really smart guy. I was trying to talk about how he was sort of stuck on the road. It's like a new city every night. Like that, for sure, a point in your life that sounds amazing, but it's just sort of like brutal. If you're making money and being successful, it's a hard way to live traveling.
I've said this before. I think the key is like finding a hobby to keep you busy during the day. Like if that's your job, if your job is just going on stage for 15 minutes, a half hour, an hour every
I
night.
think that's healthy and necessary, but still a different place. I think as you get older,
Yeah, I think it's I
you
agree.
like staying at home, like sleeping in your bed. I mean, obviously when you're younger, it's a lot easier. He did not make it sound great.
And I think it's different if you have a lot of money too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to stay in
That helps,
five-star
but
places,
that helps for the richest guys. They complain about it. That it's just
Yeah, they also complain that their Lamborghinis aren't fast enough. So
I think
take
it's
it
more.
on.
I think it's more that like a guy like Sam Tallent, Joe Rogan doesn't have this problem, but like Kumar, you know this. Not every night is a fucking knock 'em dead night. Like some nights you play for the shittiest room where you show up and you're like, I don't want to do this tonight for this room.
absolutely.
And then the energy
Kalamazoo,
sucks
Michigan,
and
or whatever it is. It's,
well, Kamara and I
Dude, hold on. Callan's fucking divorce settlement came out. He's paying 20 grand a month.
yikes.
he's a new friend that Joe tells
Dude,
stories about.
it's crazy. I
Brian
was like,
Callen did Adam 22,
I saw that, yeah.
bottom of the barrel.
And he was
Okay,
apologizing
Kamara and I-
profusely for his treatment of Bobby Lee.
Kam-
Are we done?
What's
Sam
going on?
Tallent, really smart guy.
Wait,
I
no,
give this
no.
a 2.5.
Kamara and
a
I were
3.
talking outside about how if you look at like Joe's actual what he's done,
Mm-hmm.
he worked a bunch of like kind of menial jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and then by the time he's like 20, whatever,
Yeah.
he's already got a deal with
Disney.
and then he gets News Radio,
Yeah.
and then he gets Fear Factor.
Bruce Springsteen.
He's never he didn't really do like the open mic scene. You know what I mean? He was already famous by the time.
I disagree. I disagree with that. I think he did the circuit in and around Boston, New York, and I think he
For like
really
3 years.
Yeah, I think he.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
With Greg Fitzdog.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I really
Fitzsimmons.
listen. You're forgetting too that like Joe was in the room for all those Opie and Anthony's. He wasn't a big name back then, but he was in the room. Like he had the respect of his peers.
But it comes back to I'm
not sure he did.
He became Lobster Every Night Joe at 23.
Yeah, yeah. I get it.
Just a young kid.
Yeah. Listen, he's blessed.
Yeah, he's blessed.
Blessed. So blessed.
Yeah.
That's the
And
part
actually,
that I-
He's also a
because
hard worker, though. He
exists,
fucking
we're
deserves
blessed.
it.
Thank you so much for listening. Sam
Yeah.
Callan.
Rate it, Simon. We both rated it.
I give this one a 2.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much for listening, gang. We love you. Maybe you're willing to go a step further. If you want to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. Head over to patreon.com/JREE podcast. Oh my God, I'm dying slowly. For that $5, you'll get the post show. It's the show after the show we shoot the shit. You'll also get old episodes of This Won't Age Well, the show we went back, listen to old episodes, did the same shit we do here. It's moon debates, garbage, this, that, the next. Thank you so much. We hope you all have a great week. We hope you enjoy your weekend. And as usual,
Keep your eyes open.